What up, Broncos country? Welcome back to the channel. Here to recap the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos, where freaking Broncos lose again. Man, this is just bad. Back-to-back years, Broncos lose Zach Wilson, even though I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback, but, did not want to lose to freaking Nathaniel Hackett. And the funny thing is that the Jets and their fan base, they think that he is a good offensive coordinator, apparently. Earlier this season, I was seeing on Twitter that they were saying that he was terrible, and I was like, well, there you go. Some of them know. But the ones that, are on the whole, this was personal thing, and y'all think Hackett is your guys' future OC, you guys are in for a rude awakening because he sucks. I don't care if y'all won or not. You only put up, 24 points? Sure. Okay. But, let's be real. It's going to be a rude awakening. He sucks, y'all. Okay, congrats on the victory, though. Not going to come in here and hang my head, I understand the Broncos are not a very good football team right now. But, not going to cry about it. We're going to recap this thing. But, yeah, the Jets players are fired up. I see Sauce Gardner right here, Jets country, let's ride. That's all I'm going to start saying now. I'm just going to say congrats to Jets country. CJ, how do you say his last name? Ozuma? I don't know. He was saying that F them and F him, talking about Sean Payton. So, yeah, guess they, I don't know. It's funny they have revenge on their mind. Like, the only dude that was trying to get revenge was Hackett, bruh. It ain't your team trying to get revenge. So, it is what it is, though. Even the Jets, page, they they chimed in when you lose to the offseason champs. I don't know what they're meaning by that, but, congrats on winning your Super Bowl. That's kind of how they acted after they won this one. But anyway, Broncos defense, man, they are freaking terrible. I know when to admit that somebody is a bad coordinator, unlike some fans, but bottom line is they need to freaking get rid of Vance Joseph. He freaking sucks, man. I'm going to keep saying it until he gets, fired. He just, I don't know if it's his scheme. As I was saying before the video cut out, it just puts guys in bad positions. Basically the same group from last year, aside from a few little changes. After holding the Raiders at 61 yards in the opener, the Broncos have allowed 877 yards rushing in the last 4 games. Even in the past 3 games, they've allowed 755 yards, which that's 251.7 per carry, which is most in team history and third most in NFL history in the past 40 years. And tell me that it's the players. But all right, I've just been ranting most of the time. I haven't even really been doing the recap. Randy Gregory, though, had a little bit of a plot twist. Probably going to post it on the community tab, but apparently he got traded. He was released, and then a couple days later, he apparently was traded to the 49ers with a 7th-round pick, and they got a 6th-round pick back from the Niners. So at least they got something. Okay. Let's recap what went down. So, starting out the game, the Jets end up getting a Greg Zuerlein 30-yard field goal, which surprised the offense didn't give up a touchdown since they got the ball first. I was like, wow, They actually did not give up a touchdown. Like, okay. And then Broncos, the offense looked great on that first drive. I mean, they went all the way down the field. Jaleel, I make a play, make a Laughlin. Catches a 22-yard pass he catches a pass from Russell Wilson. He goes 22 yards and scores. And yeah, the dude's just electric. He almost reminds me of Philip Lindsay when he came in the league, like Philip Lindsay, but hopefully it's not like Philip Lindsay, because when Philip Lindsay came in the league, he had like 2 great years, and then after that, he was never talked about again. So hopefully this guy is different than that. Like, still love my guy, Philip Lindsay, don't get me wrong. I bought his jersey. I mean, he's a Denver native, so obviously had to, or Colorado native, I should say. Came from the Buffaloes, and then he went to the Broncos. So, he lived his dream. So, pretty awesome. But, yeah, I mean, at that point I was like, cool, okay. Let's keep it up. Let's score another touchdown. And, just that, I was like, okay. Broncos get the ball back. One play, you get sacked in the end zone, which Russell Wilson actually got rid of the ball, but it was intentional grounding, so that counted as a safety. You don't want to give up safeties in the NFL. I mean, those 2 extra points tagged out. I mean, it wouldn't have really mattered in this one, but I don't know, just a dumb mistake there. Like, don't want to give up any points, especially like that on offense. That was really all the action in the first quarter scoring-wise. Second quarter, 12:47 in, Will Lutz 23-yard field goal. Makes it 10-5, kind of an odd score. Looks like a baseball score. Greg Zuerlein, 26-yard field goal, so it's 6:41 left. So the defense, playing a lot better in the first half so far in this one. And Broncos, unfortunately, do not get another touchdown in the first half as they settle for a Will Lutz 22-yard field goal with 1:48 in. And this is kind of the point that I'm talking about, how Hackett, he sucks. Like, the Jets go all the way down the field. They can at least get a field goal. I mean, it didn't matter in the end, which really pisses me off. I'm not going to lie. Like, a play like that and you still lose the game? I mean, come on, man. Yeah, they marched all the way down. They were actually in the Broncos red zone. They probably could have got a touchdown if things went their way, but they at least could have got a field goal, but they had a clock management mishap, and the clock just runs out. They have no timeouts, and they don't get anything. So they just had a wasted drive where they could have definitely gotten 3, but instead they were trying to get it in the end zone, which that's what they get, to be honest. I mean, that's what do you think was going to happen? So that's what happens when you get greedy, though. But like I said, it just pisses me off that, it didn't even matter in the end. Still lost the damn game. And, I can recall the Broncos forcing 3 almost turnovers in this one. I mean, there was the Zach Allen when he sacked Zach Wilson, and he loses the ball. A Jet jumps on top of it. There was a muff punt by the Jets, and then a Jet jumps on top of it. I believe there was another point in the game where Zach Wilson fumbled the ball, and a Jet jumps on top. I mean, I'm over here like, come on, man. The Broncos just, I've noticed so far this year that they could, knock the ball free, but they can't recover it. Like, in previous weeks, they've done the same damn thing where they will knock the ball out, and the other team will recover. They'll keep possession, and it's, plays like that can change the complexity of games. Fortunately, they're just not able to, finish, the play. They're able to start it, but they're not able to recover those almost turnovers. And, if they were able to do that, who knows? Maybe it changes some things. But third quarter, though, Breece Hall, the dude is a Bronco killer. I mean, I'm just going to say it. I mean, he had a great game last year before he tore his ACL. Against, he had like a 60-something yard touchdown run. This time he had a 72-yard touchdown run. That made it 15-13. That was pretty early in the third as well. 13-29, I think we received, right? I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I missed a little bit of the start of the third quarter because one of my buddies, I sold him my old car, and he got in an accident. So I was making sure everybody's okay, and I was like kind of freaking out. I was like, there goes my baby. I mean, even though it's not mine anymore, but I was kind of more focused on that than the game at that point. And then, yeah, when I came back, it was 15-13. And then, yeah, I heard he got that long run. I'm not even surprised, man. It's just the guy so far has done it each time he's played us. But, yeah, one play as well, and that happened. Broncos, dead silent that third. I mean, this is where the momentum really changed in this game. The game was, it was a game of momentum and penalties. I mean, both sides had some stupid penalties. This game was probably the best way to recap bad football combined. But yeah, Greg Zuerlein, again, 5:16 left in the third quarter, 27-yard field goal. I made 18-13. I was like, come on, let's get a freaking touchdown or something. Nope, giving it right back. Fourth quarter comes by. Jets get another field goal, 12-19 in. Greg Zuerlein, 22-yarder. That made it 21-13. I'm like, okay, we're down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. It's doable. But what do? No. I think this was the play where they tried to do that end around little toss, and Samaje Perine just throws it a little too high on Marvin Mims, who had pretty rough game, and just loses it, and there's a Jet defender there just to scoop it up. That was such a stupid turnover. Like, I was shaking my head after that one. I mean, the Broncos self-inflicted wounds there in that fourth quarter. It was bad. I think they had 2 total turnovers in the fourth quarter. Could be wrong. Broncos, gave us a little hope as fans. I mean, Adam Troutman catches a 3-yard touchdown pass from Russell Wilson. Made it 24-21. The 2-point conversion was good. It wasn't the first time until the Jets, again with the penalties, they draw a penalty, puts the Broncos on the 1-yard line. They hand it off to Michael Burton. He runs it in. Makes it a 3-point game. And the Broncos did what they needed to do, which they got a turnover. And big play, Pat Surtain, man. I mean, him, Sauce Gardner, 2 best corners of the game right there. He comes in the clutch towards the end of the game when they need a play on defense, gets an interception against the other Wilson, the wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. And yeah, the Broncos, all you got to do is get in the field goal range to tie the game, to send it to overtime. And what happens in, the 2020 and beyond Broncos fashion? They fumble the freaking game away. I think we need like 20 yards to be in, Lutt's field goal range. And what happens? Russell Wilson, instead of throwing the ball out of bounds, giving them another chance on offense to, try and get them 20 yards, he takes it himself and he gets stripped. And the ball rolls almost out of bounds. It gets picked up by, it was that one corner. It was the one that they were targeting most of the game because, he was starting for an injured starter. Scoops it up. I want to say Bryce Hall. I could be wrong. But it's just like, man, it didn't even surprise me. I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, I'm not even surprised, man. They give us hope, and then they just crush that hope and fumble it all away. I mean, it was just... I was sitting there like, well, yep. Well, now it's over. And not gonna lie, it feels like I got punched in the face. Like, it freaking hurts. Because this is a game that we had hope that we thought we were going to come back and win. But no. Does not happen in this one. We'll look at the game or team stats here. then we're wrapping this up. Jets had 407 total yards. Denver had 308. The Jets had 2 turnovers. Denver had 3, which Jets won the turnover battle. First downs, 18 apiece, both sides. 34, 36 time possession for the Jets, 25-24 for Denver. Start out with the winning team, I guess. Zach Wilson, he was 9 for 26, 199 yards passing, 1 interception. I mean, he didn't even play that well. He got sacked 4 times. So did Russ, but it's just like, man, he's going to suck. Bryce Hall with 177 yards rushing, man. Just another big game from 22 carries. Almost hit 200. He had a touchdown. Rushing, Tyler Conklin was the leading receiver for the Jets. I can't even talk right now. 4 catches, 67 yards. Garrett Wilson, 3 catches, 54 yards with Pat Surtain covering him, though. Again, another Pat Surtain masterclass. He covered him 4 times, and he caught 1 of those passes for 12 yards. But whenever he was not targeted, the 2 receptions, do the math, 12 minus 54. 42 yards? So he got 42 yards on 2 catches against other corners. Almazar, 3 catches, 33 yards. Everybody else was below 20 yards receiving. Xavier Gibson. Yeah, he lost a fumble, but he recovered, right? I guess he fumbled twice. Zach Wilson fumbled twice. So they had 4 fumbles, and they only lost 1. It was Xavier Gibson fumble that they lost. It's like, come on, man. CJ Mosley, got to give him props, man. He had a really good game. Jets defense played good. I said in the preview video that they had a good defense. Just looking at the sacks. Quincy Williams, 2 sacks. You had Jermaine Johnson with a sack. Bryce Huff with a sack. Maybe it was Bryce Huff with the return. I don't know. Go to the Broncos here. Russell Wilson, 20 for 31, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had a 3.7 quarterback rating. Got sacked 4 times. Jaleel McLaughlin, the 9 carries, 68 yards. Russ had 7 carries, 49 yards. P. Ryan, 6 carries, 22 yards. It was an all-right running game. But the wide receivers, man, just felt like they were not really existent until the end of the game. Like Jerry Jeudy, he showed up big in that 4th quarter. 6 catches, 50 yards. Samaje Perine was the leading receiver, 4 catches and 73 yards. But everybody else after that, 26 receiving yards or less. Troutman, 4 catches, 26 receiving yards. Jaleel McLaughlin, 3 catches, 21 yards. Court only had 1 catch for 13 yards. Didn't really get tired that much. Mims, 1 catch, 4 yards. Brandon Johnson, 1 catch, 9 yards. So they just weren't able to, get the receiving game going that well. This one. Russ fumbled twice. He lost 1. Perine fumbled once, and then Mims fumbled once. They lost 3 of them. They only recovered that 1 that Russ fumbled. So, all in all, pretty bad if you're asking me. I don't know why this is going off. Sacks. You had Zach Allen with a sack. Nick Bonito had 2 sacks. Again, Elijah Garcia, 1 sack. And then the interception was Pat Surtain. Nothing else, man. That's about it. And I guess before we wrap things up here, there was 5 players the Broncos would trade at the trade deadline. Just want to hear your guys' thoughts. Maybe I should say this for another video, but I'm just going to say it right now. Yeah, I was reading this thing. This article right here says Pat Surtain. They think they should trade. I do not think they should trade Pat Surtain. I believe he's one of the cornerstones on defense they should build around. Justin Simmons, he's 29 years old. I could see that. Jerry Jeudy, I just don't know about Jerry Jeudy. Like, I kind of see them trading him. Like, I just don't think he's happy in Denver anymore. And, I don't blame him. He wants to be a part of a winning team. But I don't know. I feel like he's a little overrated in some way. Like, yeah, I defended him, but, nowadays it's been like, 3-4 seasons now with him, and it's just kind of the same stuff we're defending him on, and I don't know. But I strongly believe if he goes to another team, he will thrive. He'll be, a top receiver. But Cortland Sutton, 27. Honestly, I would keep him around just because, he's a good 50-50 guy. Marvin Mims, I think he can replace Jerry Jeudy if he does, in fact, get traded. I think them two could be a good wide receiver duo. Got the makings of the DT Emmanuel Sanders. It's got the blueprint. I don't know if it would actually become, but that's kind of how I view them if that were to happen. Then Josie Jewell, honestly, I would not mind trading him. I feel like he's only good in run defense, but I don't know. He's all right at tackling. Not really good at coverage. So, but yeah, that's kind of who they were throwing out there on the trade market. If the Broncos are to sell. Want to know your guys' thoughts, Broncos country. But yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. I don't know. Is now the time to blame Sean Payton for some of the things that's going on in Broncos country? Let me know in the comments down below. Never forget though, Broncos could have had Kyle Shanahan. He wanted to come to Denver, even though I'm not blaming all this on Sean Payton. I still think he's a great coach, but just saying, man. Kyle Shanahan, when he took over for the 49ers, they have been a playoff team every single year. And if they were to get him, maybe they would have started the rebuild back then. But like I said, who knows, man? It's rough sledding in Broncos country right now. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed the vid. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. On that, stay safe, be good. 1-4. We'll have a recap tomorrow for the Thursday night game. Sucks. Go Broncos.